years this year, okay? She's never potted a plant.
Kramer?
Hey, buddy, hey.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. What the hell is going on?
Breakfast. I gotta be in at Brant Leland by 9.
Why?
Because I'm working there, that's why.
So, I kind of had a feeling it would be my job, but now it's like, you got to take dirt out of that plant. And you got to knock the roots off. And you got to water them when you're done. And this is going to make a big mess, so go do it over here.
Jerry, I don't know if you've noticed, but lately I've been drifting aimlessly.
Now that you mention it.
But I finally realized what's missing in my life. Structure. And at Brant Leland, I'm getting things done.
Dyson, my one son, used to say it as a kid, and I used to laugh. He'd just say, "You're not the boss of me." So I had to pull that today. I said, I don't work for you.
Wait, this morning already you had to pull that?
How much are they paying? No. I don't want anything. I'm doing this just for me.
Clearly. So, what do you do down there all day?
TCB, taking care of business.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it.
What a crappy weekend. Marquette loses. Wisconsin loses.
Everybody lost.
The Bucks lose back-to-back. The Brewers lose back-to-back.
That doesn't
in spring
count.
training. Oh,
No,
well,
no.
It's going to count for the sake of the argument. Would you let me? We're doing
No, I won't let you put crap in there when you got enough real stuff. Preseason baseball.
Let me use it.
They call it spring training.
Yeah, it's called spring training, first off. And it helps my argument.
Okay, fine.
Thank you very much. No Jen, no Gabe, no
There's
Chewy.
probably a high school game that didn't go well for somebody. Get that one in there, too.
That's probably true. Sectionals and regionals were going on.
Oh, yeah.
Season's over,
That's
Homer.
correct.
Season's over. No Jen, no Gabe, no Chewy. Strofe and a Homer with you this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, the first day of legal tampering in the NFL. But the Packers already losers. I mean, if we're being honest with one another. DK Metcalf gets traded from the Seahawks to the Steelers last night. Devontae Adams signs with the Rams. Myles Garrett extended by the Browns. SOL. Before the legal tampering period begins. No Devontae, no DK, no Myles Garrett, no Max Crosby. The Packers going to be searching the free agent pool as it begins today. We will dive into all of that throughout the course of the next 2 hours here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy right here on ESPN Milwaukee. But the thing that bothers me the most of all of this is our buddy Jason Wilde over at channel3000.com writes this. Asked how much conversation there had been between the Packers and Devontae Adams and longtime agent Frank Bauer. One source replied, quote, none, end quote. No contact with the former Green Bay Packer wide receiver who now lands in Los Angeles with the Rams. Homer, seems like a bad idea to not reach out to Devontae Adams today.
No, it has nothing to do with anything. It's right with a preseason game. They didn't sign him. I don't care if they had 12 meals together. We've been through this with Goody. The fact that they inquired yes or no means nothing. You either get him or you don't. They didn't get him. What? So what if they had talked to him 100 times? What if they bought him 8 Lamborghinis and he goes somewhere else? It doesn't matter. It's right up there with preseason scores.
I think that's incorrect. Look,
Okay, tell me what it matters if they went after.
Because it shows a little bit of urgency that Goody preached at the end of the season.
Yeah, he believes in the urgency of his current players. They got to get better. They got to realize they got to play well.
But you and I are sitting on our couch watching them last season. We know it's not good enough. They have to get better.
Yeah.
And not even ringing the phone and saying, hey, old buddy, how you doing?
Why ring on the phone?
That's malpractice to me. You got to reach out.
I hope. What if you heard they got on the phone and talked to Myles Garrett?
Would have made me feel a little bit better.
You got to talk. You need therapy.
I don't disagree with that.
It doesn't matter.
That part's probably very true.
Matters what you do. Clearly, he doesn't see there. Well, he's always just, other than last year when they found 2 teams they thought were really stupid to make players available. But what does he do? What will they do? They did nothing.
So,
all right?
So doing nothing tells us what?
They were not interested in paying that kind of money for the player at that level.
Are they right or wrong?
We'll see based on what they have when they play. If their young players are good, it is riskier. Yes,
Riskier to do nothing, you're saying?
good. Well, I mean, I would say not to get Adams. That's
Right.
the one I thought you had the best shot because you didn't have to give anything up. He never gives anything up. So we'll see. You know.
So I guess the thing I'm tied up with.
But does it make any difference that he tried?
Well,
Hey,
yeah.
I
think
asked her out. She said
no.
no.
I think for Devontae, there's context required because had you had an offer on the table and he said, I would prefer to stay out west, I would prefer to play for the Rams over the Green Bay Packers.
so be it.
That would tell us he
Tell
believes
us what?
he believes the Rams are a better Super Bowl contender and the
And they
Packers
are.
aren't that interesting of a destination.
Well, hold on.
But
Stop
that
right there.
would be true whether they talk to him or not.
Stop.
That's the answer, isn't it?
But stop right there. You just said because they are. The teams that have made moves over the course of the last week are leaving the Packers in the dust a little bit. And look, I'm not going to overreact. We need to see football be played. I get that. I still think the Packers are a good team. I still think they're a playoff team. I still think these receivers have an opportunity to be good in the National Football League. But look at Washington. Coming off of an NFC Championship game, they trade for Deebo Samuel. They upgrade. The Rams, a team that was in the playoffs last season,
Right.
make the decision to move on from Cooper Kupp. Now they have Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and they extend Matthew Stafford. They're in a better position today than they were a week ago. The Packers, to a point, are getting left behind when it comes to
But wait
upgrading
a
your
minute.
roster.
It's funny, when all those other teams you mentioned, you didn't say, well, they tried to get this player, and they tried. You mentioned players
because they were
got.
successful.
Right,
What?
they were successful in
Correct.
the
Were
attempt to get
Packers
those players.
successful?
And our whole
No,
point here is the Packers aren't getting better. They
Fine,
aren't
that's
making
true.
moves.
The fact that whether or not they called to anybody is irrelevant. Because you just said it. They didn't do anything.
I don't agree
These
with
teams
that.
did something.
I disagree that it's relevant. It's relevant.
No, it isn't.
Show me that you have the urgency you preached.
Again, that they don't have the urgency the way you saw it. But all I'm saying is, if you think it would have made a difference if they talked to them, is insanity.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
Because if you
Just tell me how much better you'd feel if you heard they tried to talk to
if I'm trying to buy a house and I get outbid, does it not matter at all that I tried to buy that house?
Yes, it does not matter at all. Does not.
But it would show I'm trying to be a home buyer.
All that's going to matter is if you go out and buy another house.
It would indicate that I am in search of buying a
Fine,
home.
which means nothing.
No, it means that I'm going to try other places.
We don't know that.
We
don't
do.
know that. We don't know that at all. We only know one thing. You don't have a house. And until you get a damn house, I don't give a crap how many you talk to. And you know that too. If you look at 20 houses.
Do you think realtors treat it that way? If they see somebody's out there trying to buy houses, they go, I'm going to ignore that guy.
No, that's not who I am.
Or I'm buying a car. I'm in the market for a car. Is the salesman never going to call you back?
You're not a realtor. You don't have a job to make money if you sell a house.
But if I go to the car dealership and I don't end up buying a car, is that car good? Is that salesman going to call me back?
Maybe
100% of the time.
It doesn't matter.
100% of the time.
Nothing matters until you buy a damn car.
You can't buy a car without trying to buy a car.
If you try or don't try, it doesn't matter if you don't have a new car.
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because if you don't put the wheels in
You don't
motion
want a
to
new
buy
car.
the damn car, you're not going to buy the damn car.
You're making this assumption. So he's after he's talked to the guy for 5 cars, you don't have a car. How many you talk about doesn't make any difference until you get a car. Then we'll talk about what happened.
Josh, you know what that means? It means you're homeless. Ha!
No. They aren't. The Packers are, if you want to refer to the Packers aren't homeless. You will be appropriate to ridicule Goody, which you can, but if you think he should have gotten one of these 2 players.
I think he should have at least looked into it.
Now we're back to square one.
I give up.
Well, the good news is you got an hour and 51 minutes left.
All he's got to do is Goody doesn't even care enough to fake it. If he thought it was important to convince us, I'll make a couple calls. Then he can say I made a couple calls. No, Goody isn't a.
You're really hung up on the fact of being interested or not when we're hung up on the fact of Brian Gutekunst has shown no interest in improving the 2025 roster to this point.
To this point, yes. Why? Because he didn't get anybody. The fact that he talked to them
didn't
or
even
didn't
call
talk
them.
He didn't even call them.
makes absolutely no sense. It's about as important as which sock he put on first this morning.
I bet
you
he's
know
a
what?
left guy.
You should feel better. He put his left sock on first.
I'm a left sock guy, Joshy.
Switches, whatever.
I have
feel.
no idea. Never thought about it in my life.
Okay, well, tomorrow when you put your socks on, I want you to think about it.
I
and
will
report
not.
back.
I refuse to. It'd make about as much sense as saying, "Hey, did Goody?" I want to talk to Goody because Goody doesn't know how easy this is.
Okay, go on. How easy is
Goody,
it?
just make 2 calls. No. I mean, you don't really have to want anybody. Just make a couple calls. So when they ask, you can say, "Yeah, I inquired."
Do your homework.
He does his homework. He doesn't want them. But, I mean, to please you, clearly what I've learned, if I was a friend of Goody,
Yeah.
Goody, I know you don't believe this, but people think it's important that you tried. So call them up. You're not real. I know you're not trying. You know you're not trying. But just fake it, and everybody will love it. And you did, of course, call.
I would feel at least a little bit better that he's showing the sense of urgency that he preached.
You shouldn't, because your complaint about what he has or hasn't done is all that matters. It's understandable for people to have a major complaint about how he goes about acquiring free agents and whether or not, as we said, we have legitimately experience of where he's done something in the past ever. Last year, he got 2 guys. Why?
Mm-hmm.
It would appear the teams they were dealing with were idiots and didn't want a player because it wasn't like he had to go off. You know, he took advantage of his judgment of a player.
Yep.
That didn't fit here because somebody was clearly willing to go big time to get these players. So you have to assume, based on what he's done, there's a possibility that he might do it because before that, as far as his inquiry, no one says about last year, yeah, the key was he inquired. No, they got players. I would assume that it'll probably be the same. He generally gets players that, other with those exceptions, that don't wow you and thinks you're going to do it. He's going to do it mostly through the draft.
The Cardinals Talking text line open for you, 800-990-3776, 800-990-ESPN.
Can I ask one other question?
Strofe and Homer with you. Go ahead, Homer.
If I had not come in the morning, but I had just said I would be interested in coming into the morning, would you guys go, hey, do you want to just throw a bone in for credit for Homer? He's not actually here, but he inquired about coming into the morning.
I don't know if you realize how much the offer, the empty offer, even then means in the real world.
I've learned.
I think
a fake empty offer.
It was nice of Homer to offer to be here this morning.
Yeah. I think there's more here than even just that. Like, life is built on empty offers. Hey, if you need some help moving, let me know.
Right.
I never plan on helping that person move, ever. I will never help them move, but me saying it buys me brownie points.
I'm moving next month. You want to help?
I'll be there.
I want to let you know, Goody doesn't roll that way.
That's fair. We can discuss that, and that's interesting. But the world of empty, hey, I'd be interested in doing XYZ extra at work. That goes a long way, even if you execute it or not.
The Cardinals Talking text line is already on fire. I just want to let everybody know. Let's read some of these, shall we? Let's start with Chef Ed. I know damn well he was going to run it back, he being Goody. BBD is still intact. Bring back Devontae. That was the campaign Joshy and I were peddling with the help of Chef Ed on Mr. Relevant. BBD now stands for Better Beat Detroit, according to Chef Ed.
I was in that campaign, too.
Oh, were you? Were you interested in being in the campaign, or were you actually in the campaign?
Well, no. I mean, no. Good point. Go ahead.
See, but I'll take your support, even though I'm not sure if you were.
Well, actually, what did you call this? The makeup stuff? What was the line that you used when you...
Well, be careful over there. Makeup stuff.
What was it like you say you're going to help your friend?
Yeah, empty offers?
Empty offer. This is the world we live in, and I agree with that. I need to talk to Goody. The greatest empty offer ever. How you doing today?
Yeah, that's true.
I never want to know how you're actually doing.
Of course. And I apologize for not having understood. That's the world we live in, and Goody's got to be informed that what he needs to do.
Brent in the 260 making a good empty offer. Maybe not even an offer, just a point. Good empty point. This is going to be a long 2 hours for Joshy and Strophy.
No, it's not.
I enjoy yelling with Homer.
This is a good way to start the week. I'm amped up. Kyle chimes in. I think Homer just likes to argue. That's probably accurate. You're an arguer.
Yeah, but not. I mean, people think I do it for a reason other than that's what I believe in. And if I yell more, which I yell too much, It's because not only do I believe something, I'm incapable of comprehending how people believe something else. Like it's like I'm arguing 2 and 2 is 4, and they go, "No, it's 5.
It's 5.
No, it's not 5. Can't help it. It's just, and so I have to get better at that. No, it's not 5.
We'll get there. Cody on the text line, last one, and we'll get to break. I agree with Homer. At some point, being in on the conversation every year gets old. For once, you have to stop being the bridesmaid and actually get married. Now,
that's just fatigue, right?
Yes, that's just fatigue. I find enjoyment in the Packers were in the conversation tweets, which is maybe why I'm being a little whiny this morning. Because I would have liked to see the Packers in on the conversation for a guy like Davante Adams. And we're seeing reports now that the Packers actually never made an offer for DK, which I'm actually okay with. Given
I think you should like Goody a little bit.
I should like Goody?
Well, because I think
I do like
other
Goody.
than when he lies to Jason, which
yeah,
we
don't
will
like that.
because I would if I was a GM, too. I've been pro-lying for some time now. It's not all the time, but in this stuff, he's just honest. Yeah. I mean, what he needs to be told is empty offers are a big part of this world. So
we can all go around. We can all learn a little something.
Yes, I will tell Jason when he talks to Goody.
That would be appreciated.
Just have an assistant who says, "All right, who do we have to make fake phone calls to this time?" Okay, they can listen to all the shows. All right, give me the numbers. Let's go.
Well, will the Packers make any fake phone calls? Will they make any real phone calls? We are less than 4 hours away from the opening of the legal negotiation period in NFL free agency. Will the Packers upgrade specifically the wide receiver core? We'll dive into that coming up next. Strofe and Homer with you. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on ESPN Milwaukee.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We're moving along pretty well across the area. We just have that one accident, 94 southbound on the off-ramp to Ryan Road. But as far as delays are concerned, not too bad. Volume definitely picking up, but really not seeing any delays. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly sunny and warm, a high of 65. Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, mild, a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Kevin Morat, Mentality founder here with a wake-up call. You're running on fumes, gentlemen. Just 1/3 of the free testosterone you need. That's why you're drained, defeated, and disgusted with your progress. But here's the truth. Mentality doctors specialize in epic comebacks. Our clients show an increase of 30% testosterone levels within the first month. We don't just treat men, we reignite lives. Just imagine the focus, energy, and drive being restored. Your comeback starts now. Don't wait. Make this your best year yet. Start today at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Drum roll, please.
Harmless is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great carbless perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbless is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why Bliss is more with Carbless.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage-as-a-service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Where else can you get football analysis that includes things like dropsies and pixies and interceptsies and flowy? It's flowy. The offense needs to be more flowy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy with you on a Monday morning. Strofe and a homer in. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy all off. Chewy will return tomorrow. Gabe back Friday. I think Jen's off all week, right, Joshy?
Correct.
Got
She
it.
is, I was seeing videos of her. Currently, I believe in the Alps.
Oh, wow.
For the Special Olympics, which she'll be participating in some of the broadcasting of it. Go to her Instagram. Pretty interesting view she's giving people.
Very nice. Joshy, the one staple of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this week. Good to be with you.
Somebody's got to hold it down.
Just lie to me. I think that's what we've determined over the course of the last 20 minutes.
No, you're overselling it.
Yeah.
There is a need, and this is the fine-tuning of it. It's very important. There is a need for empty offers.
Yes.
Not all the time.
No.
You pick the key is the ability, in which some don't have, is to pick your spots wisely.
Sure.
You're not all empty offers, because then you just become a fraud. Everybody figures it out. You can't believe anything a person says. They're always making stuff up.
So you have no issue with the fact he didn't look into Devontae or DK?
No, in fact,
because he just made the decision, I don't want him.
Right. Yeah. And I like that, because that tells us more about him.
That he has gumption and opinions.
Well, and that this is, okay, now we discuss. Here's what we can discuss, and that is, why did Goody not express any interest in the players?
Yeah, I think
and we learned, and I think we've learned that over the years.
Sure,
he doesn't do this kind of stuff.
Right,
never has.
No,
other than last year. One, he never gives up draft choices, so you could have pulled Metcalf off immediately.
Yep, agreed.
But then with Devontae Adams. My guess is he's old, and he believes, generally with Goody, he believes in his guys that he drafted and brought in way more.
That's why Rodgers was returning punts well into his career when everyone knew he shouldn't be on the field.
Right. He was bad.
And the ones he likes, he also might like a little too much. I mean, I think we all agree the concern with the injury to Watson, the injury to Dobbs, even if you liked that group, you have reason to wonder if they can do well enough next year when it seems they're a good enough team and a good enough team defensively. So what's he going to do?
Yeah. My worry is that this is going to be the Band-Aid that they're going to use is via the draft. And because there is a need to backfill this position, right? Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs are entering the final year of their contract.
Or front fill, maybe.
Yeah, well, I think that's where you could have done a splash signing, right? That's where you bring in a Devontae on a 3-year deal, or you bring in a DK Metcalf, which, after seeing the price for DK Metcalf, I'm fine the Packers didn't pursue that one. It was a second-round pick and a 5-year, $150 million deal, so $30 million a year. I'm okay with the Packers not going after DK, hearing that price that Pittsburgh paid for it. But my worry is that we're just going to run the same thing over and over again, right? Draft a couple receivers in the middle of the rounds. They're probably not good enough to really have a huge impact on this year's team. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs are your main pass catchers, and so be it. And that just doesn't feel championship recipe to me. Despite the fact I do believe in those guys, and I do think they can be good NFL receivers, I just think a big takeaway from watching Green Bay Packers football last season was they need a number one guy. And I think to approach this upcoming season the same way you did last with, well, one of them is going to step up, one of them has to step up. That just feels a little irresponsible to me.
I would anticipate that something will be done that will not impress you.
So the name I've seen floated around, Homer.
Ready for this one, Homer?
You ready?
Jerry Rice. No, I don't know. We're getting to the point where I'll defer to you two because I don't know that I've studied it well enough.
Well, you know this fella. How about a name? But 3 names, actually.
Okay.
A rare 3-name fella.
All right.
Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
I just have to laugh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's probably a fair reaction.
Yeah. But I could see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This isn't going to cost anything.
He's going to be cheap. Vertical threat.
Vertical threat.
He can block.
Yes. Right, and he has had his moments.
Yeah, and if you want catching to not be an issue, well, you're going to have to look elsewhere because that issue is going to continue.
Drops are not going to be fixed a whole lot.
I am interested to figure out.
Who else? Was that just one?
That's really
the only name I've seen floated around.
Okay. I would be
that would
interested
fit
to figure out if the Devontae and DK are two separate things. I have a hard time believing John Snyder and Brian Gutekunst, who have a relationship, didn't talk at all about the prospect of landing DK Metcalf. I would believe that John Schneider told him a price and Goody said, okay, yeah, right.
Take care, bud.
But to believe that he had zero interest at all and there was no conversations whatsoever, I find that hard to believe.
I do too, given, we've seen a lot of mixed reporting on this one, as you just pointed out. I would find it hard to believe that he didn't at least, look into it a little bit. But does that make me feel a ton better? Probably not. Homer might have a point there.
No. If there was an offer of third round in Romeo Dobbs and they picked second round, sure. I guess I could understand that.
And the connection between the franchises and things that have occurred in the past gives you some level of, something might happen, even if I don't think so, because they've done stuff before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Schneider, clearly, if you give him what he wants, is willing to gamble a little bit, where people will say that's idiotic.
Yeah.
He traded his quarterback.
He sure did.
Correct. Yes.
Blew up his offense in an offseason.
Yeah, completely.
Right, but everyone believes there's a part two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Here comes Sam Darnold to town.
I would think
the
so.
savior.
I don't know that it's a savior. You just try to get better.
Yeah.
Is there a future there that's worth risking? Yes.
Or cheaper and the same ability.
Yeah.
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 But
I think that's the point.
Seattle's, as much as people like Schneider, understandably so, they're kind of like the Packers, good, but not good enough.
Not good give
So what do you do to get good enough?
Well, that's the question we need to answer today, right? With the opening of free agency, and really we'll give them all week, but I'm afraid of the Packers getting left behind. I'm not saying they are already left behind by teams like the Commanders and the Rams, but seeing them upgrade, and I hate to admit it, I know Josh is going to give me a hard time when I say this, Homer, but seeing the Bears trade for 2 offensive linemen last week, it shows, hey, we believe we can get significantly better just like that. And the Packers still haven't made those moves.
Right.
I'm going to give them time.
The new head coach said, we can't do anything until we resolve this.
Well, right.
To judge the quarterback. But that's a legitimate point there. Before this started, the Packers were a 7 seed. And you know what they are now?
A 7 seed.
A 7 seed. Because the teams they're competing with, and certainly,
but that doesn't really give me the indication you're encouraged about 2025.
No, but I'm not. I don't think they're horrible.
No, I don't
either.
There's
nothing. I don't. The players that they have to get better. No, I'm not. I'm not saying they're now up to 3 or 4.
So
it'll depend to me on Jordan Love more than anything.
So are you content just leaving wide receivers as it is?
No, I'd like to see them. I agree with what you said. But I don't think there's a person out there, and
I don't know that there is either.
They
at this
didn't
point.
clearly see it the same way.
Let me ask this, Joshy. I want your opinion on this. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's likely, but it is a name out there. Cooper Kupp is still available.
No, I think he's a redundant talent to Jaden Reed and would take snaps from him, and that's not what they want to do.
A redundant talent.
Yeah,
I think
they want vertical.
Yes, they want to get bigger, and they want a guy to stretch the field. They want outside help to get downfield.
Because Watson's out for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, we probably won't see him until Thanksgiving.
And there's no replacement for Watson.
No, there's not.
Except for DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK Metcalf would have been a choice.
And
$150 million.
That's probably an overcorrection, right? If you were to bring in DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I think we all stand in the same place. For second-round draft pick and $150 million for a guy who's never really been a top 10 wide receiver and is getting older. Probably not the best use of assets. You can make it make sense for a team who might have a shorter window, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are now entertaining offers or entertaining the idea of Aaron Rodgers being their quarterback.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they're in the same place.
Yeah. I mean, it ultimately still boils down to the point. I know Homer doesn't give a damn, but I do. The fact that you didn't even inquire, right? Your job is to improve the roster. The fact you didn't even look in to get better, that irritates me on a Monday morning.
No, there might be people, I don't know what the percentage is, like you give a number 2 pick when you feel, and Goody doesn't seem to feel this, but it's understandable for some to feel like the Packers are desperate in the sense that, well, who's the vertical person going to be? And there's a reason to wonder about Watson in the future. So if you were going to overpay, and the money, we don't know how much, guaranteed, it would have been understandable for people to say, yeah, you overpaid for Metcalf, and the answer was times being what they are or assessing everything else. Something Goody sees that we don't to solve this problem, right? I mean, we do agree on this.
Yes.
Goody knows he needs vertical help.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, both him and Matt LaFleur basically at every opportunity talk about how important it is to the offense and how much they are going to miss Christian Watson.
And that would be an answer as to why not Devontae Adams, but not until they actually get some vertical help. And I'm going to take the day off if they bring back MVS. I'm just not working that day.
That might be today, Homer.
No. I don't think there's any rush to get MVS. I think you can wait a month.
I guess I'm not saying there's a rush because it's not like he's going to have a giant market.
I would think they'd be more apt to add a defensive person.
I tend to agree, and we'll get into that coming up next. Kind of maybe not even names, but just positional, where they need to upgrade most, and maybe what we could expect to see later today as free agency officially opens 3.5 hours from right now. Homer, how old are you?
70.
You're 70 years old.
Yes.
How do you do in terms of like a day like yesterday where we have an hour straight of just constant news breaking? How do you track that? Are you on Twitter or are you like refreshing Adam Schefter's Twitter feed? How are you consuming the news?
You go on the computer, but I don't have any immediate way to
do
it.
When you say you go on the computer,
laptop, I'm on a laptop.
So you're
laptop, desktop.
I had you as an iPad guy.
I also thought you were an iPad
I'm on the
guy.
desktop a lot.
So you're on the desktop. Where are you going? You going to Twitter?
ESPN.com.
Okay.
And Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You like
Are there other spots?
You like Twitter?
Yeah, it's short and what's better than that? I can't stand Facebook. I don't need War and Peace. Give me 2 lines. Let's go. Yes, I think Twitter is fantastic. And I think most people go to Twitter. I'm open to other ideas.
No, I'm a Twitter guy as well. I'm just curious. I'm just curious what your routine is, if you will, on a news breaking.
And I probably should have a spot or where you have like 4 or 5 people and you follow them. But there's no shortage when somebody comes up with something, then somebody else will comment on it, so it shows up.
Are you aware of the sheer amount of people you follow on Twitter?
Yeah, I was told by a mentor that anybody who follows you follow them because they'll like it. So that was what I did for a while. I've stopped, and I don't do it as much, but I'm like at 2,000 or something like that.
It's a lot more than that, Homer.
The people that I follow?
Yeah. It's a lot more than 2,000.
Okay, what is it?
17,000.
Oh, and then how many people follow me?
20,000.
Yeah. I don't know how it got to 17. That's a good question. I don't think I've...
So how much crap do you have to scroll through to get news?
It's not a problem at all.
Okay.
Well, now he's also...
I
a lot of
block
people...
some people now. I never used to
why'd
do
you block
that.
people?
If people think I'm just an epic idiot, what's the point of...
Well, I think you're an epic idiot, but I respect the hell out of you.
If you put it up there often enough, like they don't ever say...
But can't you
why you're wrong? I don't have any problem with somebody saying, "Hey, you're wrong, and this is why."
Well, hold on.
But if they just put up like you're the biggest idiot in the history of the world or something like that, I think, well, no, they just want to rip me. That's fine. That doesn't add to my. What helps me is if someone comes up with a reason why I'm wrong, and I have to think, "Ooh, maybe they got a point."
Joshy, do you think I'm an idiot?
Yes.
No, that's crap. Why do you say that?
Do you respect
He's
me?
not an idiot.
Yes.
He respects me and thinks I'm
wait
an
a
idiot.
minute.
Two things can be true.
What does someone have to do to be an idiot? Because if he's an idiot, I might.
Homer
be
clearly
an idiot.
hasn't spent much time with me.
We have a long history together.
Yes, my prep is for 1 hour show is 24/7. I listen to this show. You're not on as much as Jason Wilde, but you're trying to get there.
Doing my best.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't call his
I find it
sports opinions
offensive to say you're an idiot. I know it.
I don't think it's about the sports opinions. I think I think way too much about sports 24/7.
But that doesn't
like
make you an idiot.
But I think just my everyday demeanor might be a little idiotic.
You could be weird. That's not an idiot. Weird is fine.
Are you weird? The hesitation is crazy.
There are parts of me that are weird. I don't think that I am, but if someone said I was weird, I could accept that. Yeah.
I think you're a little weird.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
I
great.
just said
you're not going to block me on Twitter now, are you?
No, but
have you tried muting just people so they keep yelling into the abyss?
Fake.
I like
that's
it.
Fake.
I like
and
it.
I decided.
I like it because people get mad at me and they just continue to yell into the abyss with no idea that I'm not even seeing it.
Right, but if I don't see it, what's the point?
Well, because they're just getting mad to no one, to thin air.
I decided that in the cases that I do it, I'm happy with them saying, you never tell me why I'm wrong. So it doesn't serve any purpose to me. You just want to say, you're an idiot or whatever. If you don't say why, then it doesn't help me. And that's really all I care about, helping me.
Sure.
I'm not good with empty offers. It's not a straight
Here's the best thing, Joshy. Homer has a paper calendar out in front of him, like a little folder. He wrote down the word empty offers. Yeah. And every time he says it, it's not like it's locked in his brain yet. Over the course of the last 36 minutes, he keeps looking at the paper to say empty
70.
offers.
Yes, it's pathetic. But yes, I have to do that now.
Yeah, he's going to keep that with him. Maybe bring it up to Wilde and Tausch. Bring it up to Jason when he talks to him.
No, you have to write things down or you forget.
Oh, no, but empty offers will be used on the Homer Hour later today.
Yeah, it'll have a run.
Yeah.
My daughter used to say as a kid when I would say something, that's enough, Dad. Like I've heard of it now.
Yeah, it'll have a run.
She was a pretty good judge.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
But yes, but empty offer is like old to you, right? Isn't that common?
I don't know the exact term, but yeah, it's a concept that is not foreign to me. Correct.
I mean, but I think it's historically good because of everybody not shaking hands and everybody saying, how you doing?
You hate that.
I hate it. Yes, I hate it totally. Yes.
Are you doing okay, though?
What?
Are you doing okay?
Am I doing okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
Good. As long as you're having fun. That's all we want.
That was an empty offer that he gave you there.
Yeah, it was.
He didn't actually care.
No. But if I wasn't okay, I'm not telling you.
Why not?
On this show. It's none of your damn business or these people here. This is for fun, like you said. I got a real problem. You ain't hearing about it on this show. Ever.
That's too bad.
And
we'll get to that. No, you and I will get to that level eventually.
If no, on this show.
On the radio
we might
program.
privately, yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't get that. Like I never talked about like my kids and they playing a big sporting event or whatever. But that's the nature of how comfortable you are in this business with what you talk about.
Yeah, sure.
I don't say everybody should do that, but you have to do what you're comfortable about. And I'm like, it's none of your damn business. If I talk about my marriage or my wife, it's going to be pretty light stuff. I'm not going to talk about. She drives me crazy. I can't believe it. No, I'm not going there. That doesn't happen.
I was just about to follow up. I think you're the one doing the driving of the crazy in that household. You're driving her nuts.
I got to think about that.
Okay.
Also, the last time people listened to us, you detailed how you lied about where you're going.
Yes, I did, and I'll never have it on the phone where you can follow each other.
You lie every week?
No. Oh no. Mm-mm. Depends.
Yeah, he softened up real quick.
No, I don't. There's an important thing of here's somebody who says he lies, but hates empty offer. I'll take that person
You looked
every
at the
day.
paper again.
I did. That's correct. I will take somebody who lies a little and hates empty offers and doesn't use them 1,000,000 times over Mr. and Mrs. Empty Offer. You never know what the hell they think.
Well, I hope you're doing well, Homer. We will continue to discuss.
You notice I've never asked you that?
I have, actually. Yeah, it hurts my feelings. We will dive into what the Packers need to get into. Empty offers are good for the soul.
You got to just throw it out there. You don't even have to listen. I don't listen. I say it all the time. I have no idea.
No.
Free agency starts in a few hours. What do the Packers need to do? We'll get into it next. Strofe and Homer with you. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got an accident southbound 94 on the Ryan Road off-ramp, and that's really the only thing we've got going on. We do have a few taps on the brakes here and there. Southbound 43 right past Fond du Lac Avenue. Eastbound 94 is tightening up just a little bit east of 84th Street, but overall, everything else is actually looking pretty good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny and warm. A high of 65. Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, mild, a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. One of the best decisions I've made was getting an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. Based right in Appleton and Waukesha, they're locally owned for 2 decades. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and even include a true lifetime warranty. Learn about Good Health Saunas options at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. And you can get $500 to $800 off your purchase. Or see them for yourself March 21st through 30th at the Realtors Home and Garden Show at State Fair Park. Remember, that's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Are you ready to shake things up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee? All you gotta do is toss your rewards card into your favorite slots for drawing entries and a chance to be in the Roll for Riches game show. What's on the table? Oh, just $300K in cash and prizes. Play this March, and Thursday nights, you could get on a winning streak that, frankly, you deserve. Let it ride and Roll for Riches. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Want a golf course quality lawn? It's easier and more affordable than you think with True Green. As the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, True Green brings pro-level expertise straight to your yard, so your lawn can look like a fairway. Sign up by March 10th and get 1 free application. Plus, you'll get True Green's price match guarantee. If you're not satisfied, True Green will revisit your lawn between scheduled visits to make it right. Visit TrueGreen.com today to get a free application. Offer ends March 10th. Restrictions apply.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I mean, pumpkin seeds.
No, little suckers. They might be. What did you say before, Jen?
Sesame, but those are white, like
No,
white.
these aren't white. No, this isn't on the outside. This is on the inside.
Seeds on the inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you got some sort of like
scrotum.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on a Monday morning. Strofe and Homer with you. Joshie DiMaggio producing the show as always. The contact the Packers made to Davante Adams' camp. Quote, none, end quote. According to Jason Wilde on channel3000.com. He'll have plenty more of that coming up next with Brian Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch beginning at 9 o'clock. Free agency starts today in the NFL, the legal negotiation period, which is really just, hey, we agreed to terms with this guy, and that'll be announced beginning at 11 o'clock this morning when you will see all the tweets coming out from Adam Schefter of ESPN on the new contracts, the new teams, the new pairings in the National Football League. It's always an exciting day. It was this day last year that we found out the Packers had signed running back Josh Jacobs and safety Xavier McKinney. So if the Packers are going to be active and make any quote-unquote big splashes, you can likely expect those sometime today. So the Packers could have the opportunity to improve their roster today, which they did not do over the weekend, missing out on both DK Metcalf and Devontae Adams. I guess we can't really call it missing out on because they didn't even reach out. Means nothing to Homer, means something to me.
No, if you wanted them to get them, they missed out.
Yeah, but you don't miss out if you don't try.
Okay.
You would agree with that, right?
No, I don't. I don't agree at all. They missed out whether they tried or not. If you believe they should have added them, if you think they should have added, then you believe they screwed up, and it doesn't. Would you feel better? Oh, I have to go here again. Would you feel better if they tried? No, you shouldn't. They screwed up. You wanted them to get them. They didn't get them.
Devontae specifically, I'm a little puzzled by the fact he didn't reach out. Right, just to see, okay.
But I think the answer may be what we said, verticality.
Yes, sure. But Devontae is still an answer no matter what. He's still the best route runner in the NFL. So vertical or not, he improves your offense dramatically. And the price tag was a little high, granted, but it seemed about right for Devontae Adams. But he wanted to go to the West Coast, and to the West Coast he goes as he signs with the Los Angeles Rams last night. When it comes to today, Homer, is there a position you look at and go, they better address that sometime today or tomorrow in the early period of free agency?
No, I mean whether they address it now, they have to address it at some time. You'd feel like a cornerback, but again, everything we assess has to be based on what does Goody think? Because Goody like his players and what he has more than we think. Mm-hmm. I think the first thought would probably be cornerback, but pass rush. But does he think? When he says, what's the phrase, we need to have a sense of urgency?
Yeah.
That can be talking to Van Ness.
And I think it was to a point, the quote at the end of the season.
If he believes in Van Ness, which
he does.
We know
he believes in his guys.
How much? Then he's not going to make the move everybody expects in the defensive line to help the pass rush because he thinks it's there.
You said it earlier, and I think we should say it again because it's a good way to sum up how I'm feeling this Monday morning. The Packers yesterday were a 7 seed.
Yes.
The Packers today are a 7 seed.
Yep.
Right? It's not like they got worse. It's not like they're a bad team now.
Right.
But they don't feel championship ready. And I don't know that anything they do in free agency will make me go, well, now they are the team to beat in the NFC. But I would like to see them just like the Commanders who were in an NFC championship game, the Rams who were in the playoffs.
Commanders are a force that they didn't used to be.
Right.
Yes.
These teams are
the Rams are a force just as they've been.
As long as they stay healthy, they're going to be a team to beat.
Yes.
And when you look around the league, specifically the NFC, when you look around the NFC and you see these teams making moves,
right,
showing some urgency, getting better, you go, okay, I just don't want the Packers to get left behind. I want them to be in, not to use this phrase again, but I want them to be in the mix in the NFC rather than, okay, they're a 7 seed. They didn't really get that much better. That's the part I'm worried about here in free agency and then ultimately the draft.
Legitimate, but it's going to come down to, as the reason the Packers are better now is it appears that he's drafted much, much, much better the last couple of years.
Not in the first round.
Well, I don't care. You get into
I do.
The whole draft. Well, fine.
First round matters.
Again, what you acquire matters.
I agree. Right? And so, like, the Edgerrin Cooper example is a good one.
So, does it change if he's a first-round pick? No. It changes on how good
is
now, you make it more difficult to do when you miss out on first-round picks. You make it but the premise is each year, last year, he gets an A+ for what they added to. Yep. The draft could have been horrible. You added those free agents. It's what you do to improve your team.
And as of now, and again, free agency doesn't open until 11 a.m., it's nothing.
As of now, he has an F.
I would agree.
But it could be an F until the draft. I mean, look at Philly, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
What was one of the, if not the most important thing, the players they drafted, the 2 cornerbacks.
Yep.
And they picked
Defensive
up the guy
line,
from
yep.
Wisconsin. That,
Zach Bond, yeah.
Yes, was a nobody.
He was, yeah. He was a
Right.
special teamser in New Orleans previously, and now he's...
At this point, they were an F, and look what they did.
Yeah. John on YouTube, I'm not upset about DK or Adams. They costed too much. What I don't like is possibly not kicking the tires on Deebo Samuel, who will only cost the Commanders a 5th-round pick. You got Jaden.
Kicking those tires, baby.
Deebo Samuel. We're kicking tires.
No, they're in your club. That's an empty. I gotta look at it
empty
again.
offer on your sheet, yeah.
At it. Yes, he brings up the empty offer. He didn't say they needed to get him.
I think kicking tires is lower.
Yeah, I would agree. Empty offers, I would agree. That's lower. But
kicking the tires, I'm walking around the dealership.
I will say,
without talking to a
Hold
salesman.
on. There is a name I think the Packers should kick the tires on. We'll get into that coming up next. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, Strofe, and Homer with you on this Monday morning.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Time to talk about the best purchase I've made recently. It has been my Good Health sauna. I told you guys I was walking around the state fair. You've heard the story, right? I've always wanted a sauna. I was using it at the gym, and I would recognize the health benefits, just how I felt better after using the infrared sauna. And then it was like, what if I didn't have to go to the gym to use my sauna? Yesterday, guys, after my run, jumped in the sauna, fell asleep. Sure did. Fell asleep. I was so relaxed. I was so comfortable. So I fell asleep, took a nap, and got all of the benefits of my Good Health sauna. They're a local company. You know I love that, based in Appleton and Waukesha. And they have a discount going on right now. If you go to goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen, you can get up between $500 and $800 off your next Good Health Saunas purchase. So just go to the website, take a look around, see if it's something that would benefit your life like it has mine. That's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text KING to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text KING to 42424. That's KING to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Think ski season is over? Well, think again. Granite Peak's bringing you Wisconsin's longest ski season, going strong through April 6th. We're talking spring skiing at Wisconsin's largest resort with live music, fireworks, and endless snow across our incredible terrain. Make it a getaway in nearby Wausau, where comfortable lodging and family activities await. Why travel far when the best spring skiing is right here? Book your ski and stay packages today. Visit skigranitepeak.com for lift tickets and lodging packages. Granite Peak, where winter lasts longer.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Tax season is here, and what better way to reinvest in your home than with brand new energy-efficient windows? During Universal Windows Direct tax time sale, you can save big now. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Need 4? You only pay for 2. And here's something that will make your wallet even happier. Pay no interest until 2030. Schedule your free in-home estimate or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hey Bucks fans, Josh DiMaggio here. Join me and Michelob Ultra this Thursday night at Champs Americana in Brookfield. I'll be at Champs watching the Bucks take on the Lakers starting at 6:30. Stop by for a chance to win Michelob Ultra prizes and watch the game. Also, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Who's on 3rd, Kelly's Bleachers Big Bend, Maddie's in New Berlin, and Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. See you Thursday at Champs in Brookfield for the game. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm saying if we collectively, all the people in their cars, all the people listening on the YouTube stream, all the people listening this morning, if we all do it together, there's power in prayer, friends.
Yes, there is. Bless me, Father, for I played man.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Monday morning, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here on ESPN Milwaukee. Alex Drove, Steve the Homer True in this morning with Joshy DiMaggio running the show as always. Free agency day in the NFL as the Packers, according to me, but not Homer, miss out on Davante Adams and DK Metcalf. Davante Adams headed to Los Angeles. He will join the Rams. DK Metcalf traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not in the Packers' DNA, as Homer pointed out a bit earlier, to make a splash trade. They're not a team that trades often. In fact, I can't even remember the last time they traded to acquire a player.
Yeah, they value the draft choices too much.
They do. If they are to part ways with a draft pick, which I think is incredibly unlikely, I think there is a guy worth doing it for, but I don't know if it makes the most sense in the world for the Green Bay Packers. That, of course, would be Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals, who led the league in sacks last year, had 17.5 sacks 2 years ago, was high on that list as well, has been really efficient for the Cincinnati Bengals. He needs a new contract, and the Bengals simply cannot afford it because they're paying their tight end, they're paying both of their top receivers, and obviously Joe Burrow has one of the biggest contracts in the NFL. So
the cost for a pass rusher just went up.
It sure did, with Myles Garrett re-signing with the Cleveland Browns. So that contract would be ginormous, and, the Packers kind of already have a lot of money invested in their defensive line between the contracts of Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary. I don't know how much sense it makes for the Packers, but if that was a swing they were willing to take and were to take, I think that solves a lot of problems that they had last year. But
yes,
unlikely.
It would fit in the sense that you just don't think he'd be available unless you feel that he's too old. But then just the fact that he's out there. But yeah, the cost now would make you and the draft choice and just what's happened. But again, it's to me, it's he's still out there and there's nobody. Then all of a sudden it has a possibility, but it has to take a while. They're not, in order for it to be done quickly, that's at a price in every way that's just too high for the Packers.
Yeah,
but in a week, if he's still available,
that price goes down.
Right.
But I think that one's unlikely. They're gonna. What I think he ends up doing, at least at edge, is signs a young guy off his rookie contract we've never heard of. Zadarius Smith style.
That they believe is better.
Who's available now?
I'm sorry?
Zadarius Smith was released.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think he fits that category.
I don't think he does either.
I don't think he fits the locker room.
It'll be someone that doesn't impress you. That's the first thing you need to remember. Whatever happens, I would predict.
Will not impress me?
Will not impress anybody.
Okay.
I think they're...
I want them to sign MVS just so Homer has to work.
Yeah. That'll be fun. I think there is a reason to believe the Packers should be interested.
I just want to be on record. I would sign him if it's nothing. I mean, it's depending what you can get him for.
I think also the value he provides is
is
close to nothing as well.
Everybody knows the limitations, but there is value.
Yes.
Okay, right now.
He's empty value.
He's the best. They pick him up today. He's their best vertical threat, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
With Christian Watson on the shelf.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's not a very high bar. I mean, look, I didn't impress anybody with my 40-yard dash time.
Right. I apologize to MVS right now for making any comparison to our discussion with him and you. That's just...
Well, I was going to say, I might be
wrong.
their best vertical threat.
No, you would not.
No.
If every wide receiver on the team was dead, they would still have a better vertical.
I think Rasheed Walker
in the box.
would be
Rasheed
a better
Walker,
vertical
yeah.
threat.
The equipment manager.
Homer would be a better vertical threat than me.
No, that would be just about as stupid. And there's a greater chance at 70 I could die. So there's nobody worrying about you dying. So no, I would not be a better choice. But yeah, there are people out there, I'm sure, that he'll get, and everybody will go, same old Goody. But yeah, we're discussing how to get better, to move up to a 3-seed, 4-seed. Vikings, that's who you're fighting with.
I woke up this morning, I saw an alert on Twitter. I said to myself, I cannot wait to talk to Homer about this. We will have that conversation coming up next. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy back with you in 2 minutes.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got a new crash to deal with on 894 heading northbound at Cleveland Avenue just before you get to National Avenue. We got delays stretching all the way back to about Howard, so be careful with that. Westbound on 94 got delays coming out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's got a couple of pockets of heavy traffic between Highway 164 and Barker Road. Back on the brakes solid from 84th Street all the way past 25th. And northbound 43 slowing from about the Marquette all the way up to Keith. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny and warm, a high of 65. Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, mild, a low of 40. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play TPC Sawgrass for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank. National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But then it turned into my deal, and then it turns into the micromanaging. You know, we will have been married 14 years this year, okay? She's never potted a plant.
Kramer? Hey, buddy, hey. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. What the hell is going on? Breakfast. I gotta be in at Brant Leland by 9. Why? Because I'm working there, that's why.
So, I kind of had a feeling it would be my job, but now it's like, you know, you got to take dirt out of that plant. And you got to knock the roots off. And you know, you got to water them when you're done. And you know, this is going to make a big mess, so go do it over here.
Jerry, I don't know if you've noticed, but lately I've been drifting aimlessly. Now that you mention it. But I finally realized what's missing in my life. Structure. And at Brant Leland, I'm getting things done.
Dyson, my one son, used to say it as a kid, and I used to laugh. He'd just say, "You're not the boss of me." So I had to pull that today. I said, I don't work for you.
Wait, this morning already you had to pull that?
How much are they paying? No. I don't want anything. I'm doing this just for me. Clearly. So what do you do down there all day? TCB. You know, taking care of business.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
TCB taking care of business. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Alex Stroh, Steve the Homer True in today with Josh DiMaggio running the show as always. Your way into the show is on the Cardinals Talk and Text line, 800-990-3776. Huge day in the National Football League. Less than 3 hours away from free agency beginning, the legal negotiation period where teams can agree to deals with free agents. Could the Packers be in the mix on a corner, an edge rusher, a receiver?
Can I have a question?
I guess so, sure.
Well, it starts when?
11 o'clock.
But it's already started, right?
No, for players that have been released, you can sign to a deal at any point. That's why, like, Devontae Adams agreed with the Rams because he was released by the Jets. But teams or players that were under contract and not released, and their contract's just up, they can start negotiating today.
So there's been no announcement yet of something going on earlier than it should have been.
Well, when we get the inevitable 11:01 tweet that there's a deal been reached, obviously that was not done during the legal tampering period. But there's been no stories
of that yet.
No,
okay,
nothing yet. I imagine we won't see anything until 11 o'clock. But we will see stuff at 11 o'clock, which makes you wonder How is this the legal negotiation period when you already have a deal in place?
Much is done beforehand, but it's a question about whether or not anybody leaks anything out, and it is clear they're not.
I don't think there was anything last year prior to that 11 o'clock deadline. I could be misremembering.
No, there's a lot of people link, like the Bears have been linked to the number one center in free agency pretty strongly. So if that comes down quickly, those people had information.
Is that in addition to the 2 linemen they've signed?
Yeah, the 2 guards they traded for.
Okay.
They're reinventing that offensive line. Speaking of reinventing, the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday traded for wide receiver DK Metcalf. Obviously already have George Pickens on their roster, Joshy's guy. And now today, the news from Adam Schefter is the Pittsburgh Steelers could be interested in the services of one Aaron Charles Rodgers. Could Aaron Rodgers, in year 41 of life, become the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Sure.
Boy, would that be interesting.
No, I don't care.
Well, why don't you care?
Because, he's not in the. Everything is important as it relates to the Packers. It has no impact on the Packers at all, especially if he's in the AFC. So, why do I care?
Because he's a fascinating fella.
Well, yeah, he is crazy.
Yes,
but
that'd be a good choice.
If I have any fascinations, is you've seen the belief that he got significantly better at the end of last season with the premise that he had finally recovered from the Achilles and that it can take that much time. And if you are part of that group and believe that, then yes, I can see the Steelers doing it.
Do you think him and Tomlin make any sense together?
Yes, because Tomlin's in charge. At least it appears that way.
But Rodgers wouldn't mesh well in a franchise if he doesn't have any say.
That I don't know. I think he goes there knowing that Tomlin's the boss. Okay. And if you're Rodgers, even though he's crazy, I think he would see that's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I have said I thought that he would be picked up by a team that acquires a quarterback in the first round but doesn't want to play that quarterback.
And that could be the case with Pittsburgh.
And he would be a perfect person for that.
Kind of a bridge the gap.
But that's not as good as Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would be a great opportunity. And
yeah, but they could still do exactly what you're talking about. They could draft somebody in the first round and, later in the first round and maybe say, okay.
When we say Pittsburgh would be a great opportunity, what does that mean?
The team's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right, but at 41 years of age, does Aaron Rodgers want to be second in the AFC North?
It's important to note, Josh DiMaggio, the world's largest Aaron Rodgers hater.
Well,
that's fine. That's a legitimate
the most
position.
accurate on his abilities for the past 5 years. If you
he won 2 MVPs in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and then I said, it seems like he's starting to taper off.
You're the two of you are having the debate that occurs in Pittsburgh in the meetings.
Yeah,
there's somebody saying exactly what you're saying, and so who wins that battle? But if I'm Aaron Rodgers,
that's where I want to go.
That's where I would want to go.
Yes, I think for Aaron Rodgers, that would be a huge win for him, especially since he was connected to the Giants,
the
Titans,
the Seahawks.
Which would be alternative to the Giants. I would check to see in college football if you can get some of your eligibility back because he didn't play. I think he would be wise to play. I think Aaron Rodgers in college football would cost you probably $3 million. Okay, where could he go? How cool would that be? No, he could go.
I was going to say that Wisconsin could use him.
Bill Belichick.
First of all, the marriage of Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, and Aaron Rodgers is not going to work.
Oh, that's just going to be. It's going to be cinema.
He's going to. Arthur Smith loves running the ball. They had one of the highest run rates, despite being one of the least efficient teams at running the ball last year. DK Metcalf and George Pickens aren't the type of guy that works with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
He likes precise route running. He likes, you're going to be where you want. Those two guys are, I'm going to beat you up then catch the football.
Correct. But Aaron Rodgers is not in a position to demand what he wants anymore.
He's not. And what I'm saying is the marriage of the offense that's coming in and the players that are there would not work for him.
Right.
It wouldn't elevate Aaron Rodgers above anything we saw last year.
And if in the meeting of the Steelers and their important people, that view wins, he's not coming.
Yeah.
Because that's clearly an opinion accurate and reasonable to not bring Aaron Rodgers in if you're Pittsburgh. And I don't know who decides, I don't know that does Tomlin make that final
I think Tomlin
decision?
has a lot of pull there. I don't think he's like the final decision maker.
What is the alternative for Pittsburgh?
Bringing Justin Fields back, who just posted he's in Dubai drinking coffee, by the way, moments ago. So hope he's enjoying Dubai. But that would be the alternative. Bring back Justin Fields.
Or Russell Wilson or Sam Darnold. Like they could be in on any of those guys.
Yeah.
And you would pick
trade
all
for
of
Kirk
those
Cousins
guys
if you
ahead
want?
of Aaron Rodgers.
Probably not Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I would put Fields ahead of Rodgers. At this point.
I must like Fields more than everybody else.
What do you mean? I just agreed with you.
I know, but I'm saying I'm talking about the end. That would be easy.
Yeah.
At Pittsburgh, Fields is my quarterback.
Right.
Done. Over.
I agree.
So they clearly don't view it like we do.
No,
because
they probably view the ceiling of Rodgers higher, even at 41 years old, which I would disagree with. But
I also think Fields believes he might be able to get more money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Which I believe is him, which I have a feeling might come back with not quite the answer he wanted. But I think he would be better than Aaron Rodgers in 2025.
Important to point out by Montana Mo, Benny Newsbreaker, Benny Brust from Kyle Brust and Norman Weekdays 2 to 5.
By the way, he's right on that. You don't want to bet him.
Benny Newsbreaker reporting that the Packers and Steelers, could be Aaron Rodgers and team, will play September 28th in Ireland.
That would be then Aaron Rodgers is relevant again.
I thought you don't care.
Game. Again, everything's important as it relates to the Green Bay Packers. They play the Packers, then he's relevant.
It's important. Okay.
Yes.
But just for that 1 week.
For that 1 week, yes. But Benny Brust is
Have you confirmed the report or what?
No, I'm just telling you, he's right. I don't.
How do you know he's right?
His sources.
Do you know his sources?
I think I do. Yes.
Oh. Have you talked to his sources?
I have not. No, I don't feel like I need to do that. That's but the Eisen part confuses me because.
So just to recap, let me set this up and then we will get your take on it. So Rich Eisen, who obviously works for the NFL Network, reported last week the Packers and Steelers will play in Ireland week 3.
Correct.
Ben Brust reported September 28th, which as now they have not officially released the league schedule, but it is anticipated that September 28th would be week 4.
Right.
But you are Team Benny.
Well, yes, and I want to emphasize the difference between 3 and 4 is
1 week.
Right, it's irrelevant.
But Benny's scoop was the date.
Correct.
If they are to play September 21st, then Ben would be wrong.
Yes, I will go with Benny, but I won't bet a ton because Eisen works for the NFL Network.
That's correct.
So
the NFL cuts his checks.
But the two teams are playing. They're going to play, and I don't think the league has announced that yet.
They have not.
Correct. So if he's wrong by 3 days, how wrong is that really? Because I think you're going to love this.
Oh, here we go.
Even if Brust is wrong, he's aware that they inquired about that date.
Okay.
They tried.
Empty promises.
They tried to get that date.
Empty offer.
And then, empty offer. And then the NFL picked Eisen's date. But it's important to know that the NFL tried to get that date. So that means that Benny is right because the effort to try is important.
That's a good point.
As far as I know, 75% correct on any test, that's a passing grade.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I'll go with Benny on this one.
Okay, I will too. I want him to be right.
But
I also want him to be wrong though because it'd be really funny.
Yes, because we're disputing over something that's.
It doesn't really matter.
I mean, if it was week 3 versus
the
week
moral
12.
of the story is, even if the Packers don't play in Ireland, which it sounds like they're going to, they do have the Steelers on the schedule this year,
and they're going to play. And the difference of the 2 dates is, Eisen didn't give a date, did he?
No, he's just at week 3.
Okay.
So regardless, they will play each other this year, no matter the location nor the date. And it sounds like it could be Aaron Rodgers versus Jordan Love, which would be awesome.
Yes, it would.
That would be very exciting to get before the end of his career. That's the ultimate point there. All right, coming up next, we will revisit Jason Wilde's article. DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, both have new teams. Neither of them coming to the Green Bay Packers. Meaning the Packers did not upgrade the wide receiver position the way any of us, at least as of Friday, thought they were going to. We will revisit that. Get into the wide receiver conversation once again. Coming up after this. Strofe and Homer with you. Josh DiMaggio running the show. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on a Monday morning. ESPN Milwaukee.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43 backing up out of the Marquette all the way up towards Keefe. We've got eastbound 94 backing up from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to 35th. The westbound side is going to be backed up from 16th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound on 894, we got a couple of accidents. One just about on the off-ramp to National Avenue, and then another one in the backups at Beloit Road off on the right shoulder. It's going to be solid out of the hail up to about National Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny and warm, a high of 65. Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, mild, a low of 40. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Be the MVP of gift giving with a Milwaukee Bucks gift card. From exhilarating Bucks experiences to unforgettable Fiserv Forum events, your gift card recipient can score tickets to Bucks games and other events through the Ticketmaster box office. Shop exclusive gear at the Bucks Pro Shop or get a favorite snack at Fiserv Forum's concessions. It's a win-win gift that lets them choose their experience. To purchase a gift card, visit bucks.com/gift cards.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman, and you may be wondering if you are a good candidate for QC Kinetics. If you're having pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, maybe you're having trouble sleeping or doing the things that you love doing, then yes, you could be a great candidate for QC Kinetics and the regenerative medicine. I know when I went to QC Kinetics and saw everything they have with my own 2 eyes, I was blown away at the tools in their toolkit to make sure that you get your life back. PRP, platelets, plasma, and they have so much they can do to give you your life back. From all the testimonials I've heard and from what I've seen with my own 2 eyes, it is unbelievable to see the before and after impact of QC Kinetics and their regenerative medicine. So don't wait any longer. Finally, get your life back as spring is unfolding. Get your free consultation today with QC Kinetics at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from ESPN Milwaukee's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Golf season is going to be here before you know it, so you have to make sure you're ready to go at X Golf in Brookfield or X Golf in Mech 1. Take advantage of the state-of-the-art simulators that they have to make sure your game is in the best shape it possibly can be. Maybe you need a lesson from one of their PGA pros to make sure you're beating your buddies when it's time to play outside. Plus, you can take advantage of the great food and drink specials that they have. Book a tee time today, xgolfbrookfield.com or xgolfmech1.com.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Champs Americana in Brookfield, the Sandlots of Salem in Salem Lakes, Kelly's Bleachers Big Bend, Magoo's on the Mound in Milwaukee, and Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill in Pewaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How are you feeling, big guy, about the MRI?
It's starting to hurt now. I think I have mental issues. I really do.
Well,
gonna have to clip that
yeah,
for me?
that's
Just,
I mean,
hold on to it.
I know. I don't think there's anything wrong. It's just I think it's something in my brain's telling me
something is wrong, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on a Monday morning. Alex Strofe, Homer with you. Joshie DiMaggio running the show as always. Your way into the show on the Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776. 800-990-ESPN is your way in to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Discussing this morning the fact that Davante Adams is signed with the Rams. DK Metcalf traded from the Seahawks to the Steelers. And according to our pal Jason Wilde, who you will hear at 9 o'clock on Wilde and Tausch, they didn't reach out about either of them. The quote in his story on channel3000.com about Davante Adams specifically, asking a source what the contact the Packers made with Davante Adams was, quote, none, end quote. Which seems, it just seems a little irresponsible to me to not look into a proven commodity at a position that you clearly need to upgrade. Now, Homer, not thrilled about the idea of, what is it, empty offers? The thing you care about is the fact they didn't get them.
Yes. That they tried or not is irrelevant. It can be helpful to let us understand, Goody.
Sure.
That we need vertical help or, but in terms of it, this is the question. Would you feel any better if they had worked at it anyway on an effort from 1 to 10?
What'd you say at the beginning of the show? It doesn't matter if they bought him 18 meals?
Yes, bought him 2 Lamborghinis. Well, he's not on the team. They didn't get him. They don't want him. He doesn't want it. Doesn't, all of which doesn't matter. You assess someone not on their interest, but in their actions.
Do you think anything do you think it's a grudge? Do you think that had anything to do with it? The fact that Davante wanted out of Green Bay years ago?
I would
Do you
like
think
to know because
Goody's holding a grudge and that's why he just didn't even look into it?
Or Adams is holding a grudge? Adams could have said, I'm never playing in Green Bay ever again. We thought, at least what I've heard, was that he didn't believe in Jordan Love. Now he believes in Jordan Love.
He's talked glowingly about him, specifically with Kay Adams.
And he certainly made all the right statements publicly. I think in terms of empty offers, Davante Adams is way
top of the list.
Goody. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good point.
Now you would assess what Davante Adams says. Not that you'll matter, but it's all garbage.
Sure, but the previous reports from Jason Wilde were that Davante Adams and his camp were open to a reunion.
Yes.
And so from my position as a Packers fan, it irritates me.
You believe in it.
Of course I believed in it. Because I want to believe in this team as a Super Bowl team. I like Jaden Reed a lot. I like Dontavian Wicks. I like Romeo Doubs. They ain't Super Bowl good. You know who's Super Bowl good? Davante Adams, Homer. He's Super Bowl good.
He helps him. Yes, he makes him better.
And the fact that they didn't even say, ring, 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 ring. Hey, buddy, how you been? Empty offer.
They just needed to do what Davante said. That's what I have a Goody. Just say exactly what Davante said. What Davante said could be all garbage, too. He wants Packer fans to like him. Mm-hmm. I don't care about what Davante says any more than I care about what Goody said. I care about what Davante did.
And what Davante did was sign with the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
But it brings me back to my ultimate point of I do not want this team to get left behind. And I'm a little bit worried that might happen over the course of the next week.
Well, if your assessment of left behind is based on the kind of things you want Goody to do that he's never done, then you're going to feel left behind.
What do you mean by never done?
What do you want him to sign a free agent for a lot of money? Never done.
He did it with Xavier McKinney last year.
Well, again, we understand that was a weird situation. No one thought he would be available.
He has money to play with, which he typically hasn't.
Right.
And he does again this offseason. He's got more money than he's ever had. So,
no one understood why Xavier McKinney was available, other than that the Giants said, we don't value that position.
Correct.
All right. So there was and in this situation, people still clearly value the position. But, in terms of so, yes, there's a history of all the years of Goody. Based on what you want, the way you feel now is the way you're going to feel when the season starts.
Yeah. Jamie in Orlando says, I disagree with Homer. I think if they at least made an effort to get Adams, we'd all feel a little bit better.
I know. That's why I'm telling you. The one thing I've learned, I don't know Goody, but I want 30 seconds with him. Goody, do you know about empty offers? You need to do a study and just find out the players that fans like and have an assistant then tell you, and then it'll take you all of 30 minutes. Then you make a phone call to every one of these situations, and then when people ask, you can say, yeah, I looked into it.
Is it a good thing that Goody doesn't give a damn what we think?
I think it is, but
I think probably more so.
It's probably a good thing.
But that to me isn't that. It's all about how you do. I mean, I think Goody is good, but he hasn't to this point been good enough.
I think you're spot on. right? Like he's been a good GM.
Right.
He's had some really good draft picks in the middle rounds.
And I think LaFleur's a good coach.
Agreed.
But I'm not sure he's good enough. I think they got a quarterback who's good. I'm not sure he's good enough. And now I, for the first time, understand how all these teams felt when the Packers were good.
Right.
It's like, you're good, so we don't care. We got Brett Favre. We got Aaron Rodgers. We're going to kick your butt. And we're going to beat. Now, they only won 2 Super, but they were a 1 seed then. They were in that group. They no longer live in that neighborhood.
No. They're 7
you
seed.
want a house in that neighborhood, and I want one, but I don't know how you do it.
You got to put an offer in on the house.
Well, you
Homer.
got to have somebody's got to step up and be better than they've been.
But we tried that last year.
What?
At the wide receiver position, we said, okay, they've got all these guys. They've got Watson. They've got Dobbs. They've got Reed.
Right.
They've got Wicks. Somebody's going to evolve into the number 1 receiver.
Yes.
And guess what didn't happen?
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Right, but other things improved. The defense got, I mean, it's about as a team.
The answer I'm not looking for here is Homer. Steve the Homer True. What is the definition of insanity?
It's not actually what you think it is.
I know. I've never believed that line, but
It's not
yes,
true.
do you think the same thing's going to happen?
What
over
is not
again?
true?
That the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Sure it
expecting
is.
different- It's not real.
Why is that not real?
Because that's not a real definition.
But it's used. I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, it's a dumb guy saying.
See what I mean? He just called me dumb.
No.
He just called me dumb.
No, it's a dumb guy saying. He has not labeled you as dumb. I think you have to do a number of dumb guy sayings to qualify as dumb.
What else is a dumb guy saying?
Do you think he's dumb?
I think he has a tendency to behave like a dumb guy.
Then you don't think he's dumb.
Not all the time.
Right. Because otherwise you would just say yes.
Correct.
You are qualifying this, but we don't know if it's an empty offer.
I got you caught up now.
Yes, you do. So it just means I won't listen to anything you say. That's
Homer,
fine.
Homer, I know you're an intellectual, but I need you to drop
Not
to
an
my. I
intellectual.
need you to drop to my level a little bit.
I don't know what that means, but go ahead. I'm at your level. This attempt to make you dumb, stupid, or whatever, it's just garbage. But I'll play along.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all I needed.
So what is the question?
If the Packers,
Yes.
if we did not see this report from Jason Wilde, and it was
Yeah.
the Packers touch base on DK Metcalf and Devontae
Right.
Adams, that would signal to you that the Packers are making an attempt to better their roster. To me,
Make one particular attempt. I believe they're making attempts to improve the roster. I don't doubt that for a second.
well, they will, and we will
No,
see.
they are.
According to what?
Oh, now it's important what they do, not what they say. Oh, so you're saying they haven't because they haven't done anything yet.
But
No,
you just said
on-
they are making attempts
I
to
believe
better the
because I
roster.
believe that based on
the
Moody.
report
No.
today is that they did nothing to better the
For
roster.
that one player.
And DK Metcalf, both of
For
them.
those 2 players,
Uh,
yes.
the
They're
top-
not the only 2 players available
But they
in
are
the league.
they are by far, and you would agree with me on this, the
Yes.
top 2 targets at wide receiver
Yes.
that were available
Yes.
yesterday.
Yes.
And they didn't make attempts at that.
Correct. Their attempt to make the roster better is different than those 2 players. You may not agree with their approach, but that doesn't mean they're not attempting to make the roster better. They will attempt to make the roster better in the draft as well.
That is accurate.
So,
But this whole youngest team in the league thing clearly isn't going to win you a Super Bowl. I think we've seen enough evidence to
yes,
say that.
but as I said, again, look at Philly. They had a problem at cornerback. They solved that problem with 2 rookies.
So when you tell me Goody is good, but might not be good enough,
Yes.
and LaFleur is good, but might not be good enough, and
Right.
Jordan Love is good, but might not be good enough.
I like that.
I do think there's a big thing here where the Packers are short on superstars.
Correct.
And the Eagles were not.
Correct.
The 2 guys they added that made a big difference were not superstars. And what we're pointing to is the Packers need, and the reason why Trey Hendrickson is the name we've mentioned, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf. You can quibble with how much of superstars they are, but that team, the foundation of that team has been set for a while. They've got guys all over the field that make impacts. When you look at the Packers,
Yes.
you see a couple of guys. You hope Edgerrin Cooper can become one. You hope Jordan Love turns into
Right.
old Jordan Love.
Right.
Other than that, you don't really have a case for anyone. Xavier McKinney,
Yeah. That's it. That's about it.
they're bereft of superstars.
What was that word? He did that
Bereft.
on purpose.
That's a good word. I like that.
You know what that means?
Yes, I do. Short, but it's trying to be fun, trying to be
He does that.
smart.
He does that.
Yeah, there's no.
I did that to you on purpose.
He tosses around large vocabulary just to stump me.
Sometimes when I do it well enough, I get him to use it wrong too. He repeats it. Thinks he could try it
I
out.
think you're bereft.
I've never used that word and never will. It's a stupid word.
You should squeeze it into your broadcast. Marquette Xavier on Thursday.
No, it's just stupid. It's just
Marquette comes up bereft.
Why come up with a word that there's a certain percentage? You go, what the heck does that mean? There's no point to that. Like, all you're doing is, I don't know, showing that you've used a word that you did in a crossword puzzle, or I don't know.
Did you know Josh owns a vocabulary book that he reads every night?
I do not.
That would be fine. There's some people like that. I don't know. It seems like a waste of time to me, but
I tend to agree.
But I mean that's. I want to emphasize this. People should like those they know who have a harmless obsession, because there are many obsessions that are not harmless.
Do you have a harmless obsession?
Probably.
Bar dice.
Yes.
Golf.
Gambling is a bad obsession that I have.
Okay.
But I've handled it, so.
Golf
but
is
I
a
wish I
healthy
could
one.
play. If I could do one thing, I wish I could play craps 24 hours, 7 days a week, every day the rest of my life.
Didn't you just say you handled it?
Right, I don't do it. I stopped doing it.
You stopped playing craps completely?
Yeah. Well, I mean, almost completely, 99%, because you lose. I don't like to lose. You win some days, but you lose too much, and so.
Do you win bar dice quite often?
The bar dice is the interaction with people that's a blast, and it's not.
That's less about winning and losing.
Correct, because what you win and lose is so little that the
Right.
time and the energy and stuff, and
Playing the games,
trying to
talking to
reinvent the
friends.
game and stuff. Yeah, it's
You guys tinkering with bar dice?
Yeah, you hold on, reinventing the game.
Yeah, 5 aces, 5 twos, and I have another one them trying to work on that they won't ever agree to. But my point is,
would you like to share that with us?
No, no one cares enough. But it's the interaction is, if all you ever did was gamble and you never made a bet over $5, you're fine.
Okay.
But so yeah, harmless obsession is, watching every major. I mean,
Can we poll it? Do you have a harmless obsession?
Everybody does.
Because I'm not exactly sure what that means, to be real honest.
Something you really like to do, and people say that's crazy. Why do you do
called
that?
a hobby.
Finally, hobby, another word
Yeah,
for it. Yes.
There's difference though. Like some people have hobbies that don't take up much time. If I could, I would probably be either watching sports or reading 24/7. Yeah. That's just what I would be doing. But my life dictates so I can't be doing either of those things as much as I'd want.
It would probably hobby. You're right. It'd go from a hobby to where people think you spend too much time, or they think it's really a weird hobby. Then my answer to that is just tell them it's a harmless obsession. Because what real harm?
Do you
what real harm does it?
Do you have a harmless obsession with Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
No. I'd have to think of what my
A
harmless
harmless
obsession is.
aversion.
My wife
Aversion,
My wife would say that you have the radio or TV on at all times, following sports of some kind. When
I get that too.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
I
got a
also get
1-hour
that.
show. You really need.
Is she busting that out on you?
She says, dude, you have a 1-hour show? She hangs that over your head?
Well, no, in terms of how much preparation I do. Maybe it wouldn't have to be out all the time now that you're a 1-hour show. I don't have an answer for that. She's right. But everybody does in this business, or you do whatever level you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I don't really know. And could I spend less time? Yes, she's right. Harmless obsession. She doesn't believe it.
Free agency day in the NFL.
Anything happen yet?
No, we got 2.5 hours, Homer, 11 a.m.
Do you expect anything, any news or anything?
I do. I want to run through some names that the Packers could potentially be in.
How about the old guy from the Eagles who they let go?
We're going to talk about him. How's that sound?
Assuming that he's. It seems to me that it would be worth something, but that doesn't fit what Goody does either.
Well, I think there's a couple old guys that could make sense.
Yeah.
So we'll run through some names with Joshy coming up next as we continue to prepare. Will the Packers be active? Rob Demovsky reporting a week ago he expects them to be players. Well, agents expect them to be players in free agency, which starts in 2.5 hours. No Devontae, no DK, no Myles Garrett, no Max Crosby, but the Packers still got plenty of money to play with. We will dive in to what we could see happen today. Coming up next, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, ESPN Milwaukee.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, a few problems out there right now. Still dealing with a couple of accidents on northbound 894. One at Beloit Road off on the right shoulder. Another one on the National Avenue off-ramp. That ramp right now is closed, so be careful. We got delays all the way back through the Hale. Northbound on 43, backing up from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way to Keefe. Westbound 94, you're looking at delays from 16th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound slowing from about 76th Street to 35th. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny skies, warm with a high of 65. Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, mild, a low of 40. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
She's different and special and loaded with personality.
And there's one more thing, but you can't explain it in words. She's the one.
She's the one.
The one. You know it.
Your friends know it.
The whole world knows it.
We curated a special selection of engagement rings for her.
Can you guess what we call it?
We call it the One Collection by Kessler's.
Because these engagement rings are different.
And special.
And loaded with personality.
And one more thing. But you can't explain it in words.
Engagement rings in the One Collection start at just $725.
But some of them are more.
A lot more.
But we've got you covered.
First, we have 12 months financing at 0%. Or
second, we have 36 months financing at 9.99%, both with approved credit.
Third, we have second chance financing if you need someone to give you a second chance.
And don't forget the Kessler's warranty.
The strongest warranty of any jewelry store in the world.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
You know what's great? Your contracting business is getting bigger. Here's the thing. The bigger your business, the bigger your pile of day-to-day tasks. Invoices, inventory, accounting. As you keep growing, so does the list. Service Titan is here to bring that list of tasks down to size. Our all-in-one solution for the trades makes managing your business needs, all of them, easier and faster than ever before. Learn how Service Titan can help manage the day-to-day of your business. Visit servicetitan.com.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, has college football gotten a little sleazy? Where you can recruit a little? No, I'm saying from the standpoint, it used to be. That was good.
On 94.5 ESPN.
No Devontae Adams, no DK Metcalf, no Myles Garrett, no Max Crosby. I want to say no problem. I have a hard time saying that. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, Alex Drove, Homer with you. Joshie DiMaggio running the show. It's free agency Monday in the NFL. Free agency officially opens 11 a.m. for the legal negotiation period prior to Wednesday's beginning of the new league year, when all of those trades that we've heard about and signings will all become official. But as of 11 a.m. this morning, teams can announce deals with free agents. So I just want to bring up a few names that have been thrown around that the Packers could potentially be in on. Now, Homer, you referenced the Eagles. Were you referring to Milton Williams or Josh Sweat? Both defensive linemen.
No. The cornerbacks. Who's the 100-year-old guy?
Darius Slay?
Yes. Yeah, they released him.
They did.
I'm open. I'll admit I don't have a scouting bureau to know. How much
you're okay. I really don't either. I don't know how he's been. I would assume he's been serviceable. They need a corner.
Goody never changes. He always.
You're fully out on Jair being back? You think there's zero possibility he's back?
Yes, I got a better chance. You got a better chance of playing for the Packers next
really?
year than he does. Yes, because I believe that he's told him I never playing for this team again.
Yeah, I think you're probably right in that.
The news about them not even seeking a cut down contract, like a cheaper contract, would tell me that
it's over.
They don't believe there's any amicable.
Well, and their complaint, I think, is aside from their complaint. He's hurt all the time.
Yeah, he's hurt all the time. He's unreliable. It's the same thing they went through with David Bakhtiari, right? Where if you're on the field, great. You're just not on the field.
Yeah, so I don't think they have any interest in taking any risk because of the injuries. The other stuff they could probably deal with.
Josh, you're smarter than me on this. Do you think they would announce he's released sometime today? Would that be a today thing?
Typically, but they don't have to until if they're dead set on getting a trade done.
They can wait as long as they want.
Yeah, until their training camp or whatever sets in where he officially
probably
gets paid.
The draft. Is probably that timeline.
I'd have to look at his contract. I mean, if you wanted to do right by your players and not have it get around that the Packers held on to you way too long and made it hard for you to find a home, you would typically make it earlier rather than later. But there's nothing forcing them to cut him today.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see when we get news on that. But, I mean, as we've been saying all offseason, the odds are
I mean, shouldn't you be able to get a conditional 7?
You'd think. But does anybody want to take on that contract?
I think so. I would. Oh, yeah.
You think
after Christian Kirk got traded for 7th?
Yeah, correct.
Jair Alexander was an all-pro.
Right.
Christian Kirk hasn't sniffed
right.
one.
No, I'm interested in Jair Alexander somewhere else.
Yeah, I would be too. I mean, if he can stay healthy and if he can be on the field, he's obviously a terrific addition to any defense. I don't even have to
count on him being on the field all the time. I mean, he played for Terrell Buckley, and now he kind of seems like a Buckley where, he's a guy you would want on the field and can make plays. How much he's on the field,
that is hard to determine.
Right, I'm not going to pay him huge money.
Kind of against the Green Bay Packers MO, right? If you can't have the best availability or ability, which is availability, they typically aren't going to stick with you very long. And they have with Jair for, 3 years now, it seems? He's battled those injuries and hasn't been on the field. So it's probably over and done with there. Chef Ed chimes in. This is a name I wanted to ask about. Khalil Mack has been floated around. Obviously, the former Bear, former Charger. If he's cheap, I'm into it. But he's in his mid-30s. Is that something Goody would look into?
No,
I don't think so.
I'll be Goody. This is an old. I believe in the development of our young players more than taking the old man.
There's something rich about a 70-year-old man referring to a 35-year-old man as an old.
I just think that's how Goody would say it.
In the NFL, 35 is ancient.
What's the point here? And your answer would be, well, we want to be better this year. Can't the young players develop and also have an old guy there? There seems to be a mix there that Goody doesn't believe in, which I'm not the first one to say it, I think can be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the offensive line last year in the playoff game.
Crumbled with one injury.
Because he would never – that's where the 40-year-old guy comes in.
Yeah.
And you understand not how good, but you can only be so bad.
Uh-huh.
That they were so bad that should never happen.
Yeah, it didn't help their first-round pick was injured.
Correct,
yeah.
But even that injuries happen in the offensive line.
They do. That's accurate.
So it wasn't like 5 guys got lost on the bus coming to the game.
It kind of looked like that, though.
Yes, it was that bad. I would never fire a GM because of that. But if you were close to firing, that would have been the final straw. You can't ever be that bad. That could have cost them the game. I don't think it did, but it prevented them from having a chance to win the game.
Exactly. I totally agree. It certainly played a role. It may not have been the only reason, but it played a role.
There's a point. It's just like I say some coaches, they don't get fired because they lose. They get fired because they embarrass.
Yes.
And that was embarrassing from a GM standpoint. Way worse than any first-round pick he's ever made.
Okay.
Then that would have never happened with one or two old guys.
Veterans, olds, as you just referred to
Right
them as.
now,
Yeah.
I know you have to pay him and all the different.
I don't know that he will take a swing on a proven veteran, right? A Khalil Mack, and I saw a couple people text in that name. And look, I see people swearing on the YouTube chat. Why does it matter how old they are? Because that's just not what he does.
And he wants that time to be used on the young guys. So the guys he gets are kind of in the middle where he thinks they're better than other people do.
Also,
but they're not old. Who's the last old guy he brought? Oh, the kicker. But
McManus, but I don't know that he really counts. It's kind of a different situation.
I mean, the last old guy they shipped off, in Preston Smith.
Yep.
Right.
And age is very important in the NFL.
It is.
Yeah.
If your speed drops, your ability, your wiggle drops, your ability to recover from injury drops as you get older.
The level you're playing at. The kicker was fantastic. It was just a weird situation.
Yeah.
If he had not had the legal problems he had, there's no way he would ever be with the Green Bay Packers.
That is correct. But they
the
bring him
Packers
back.
roster under Aaron Rodgers got old.
It did.
We saw the results.
Yeah, and I'm not saying do a complete 180 from what you've done the last 2 years, but some proven commodities certainly would not help this team. And my fear that I continue to bring up and will continue to bring up, unless Goody, quote unquote, uses that urgency that he preached about at the end of the season, is being the youngest team in the league is not working. A and B, just don't get left behind the pack. And seeing the Rams and Commanders make moves, even the Bears, and I'm not saying the Bears are ahead of the Packers by any means, but seeing these teams say, okay, we were not good enough here. We need to upgrade here and upgrade there. The Packers haven't done that. And to not even reach out to Devontae Adams is
upgrade will occur with the ones that are on the roster.
Which we tried that last year, and I'm not super confident that it will work the second time around.
It's a legitimate concern.
Thank you, Homer. but apparently it is not the definition of insanity, because neither of you subscribe to the fact that the definition.
I get it. But we're discussing it's all about what you think's going to happen versus what you think. Like who would wow you? Who would wow you if the Packers added that person to the team?
Who would wow me?
Yeah, where you would say, all right, Goody. Way to go, Goody. I don't know. Is there anybody left?
I was going to say Devontae probably would have been that name for me.
I mean, if they get one of these Travarius Ward, DJ Reed, I would be impressed.
I guess I'm zeroed in on receiver.
They're going to have a lot of suitors. Milton Williams would be one.
Okay, all right.
Where it's like this guy has a serious case to be a difference maker day one for the Green Bay Packers.
Correct. I mean, Milton is an interesting one. He was the best player on the field in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I wouldn't be impressed with Khalil Mack.
I would not either.
Despite the name brand.
However, I would still go.
How about
we're taking shots. I like that. I wouldn't be over the moon.
Where he gets me. Sometimes he just wants action for action. And it's
but you agreed with me on this.
How much
just do something.
How much
No.
I'm not just do something.
If that do something is you can't defend it. You don't have to say do something. When you say Devontae Adams, you don't have to say do something.
Right.
You say Devontae
Adams. Well, maybe I'm just desperate.
Clearly.
That's clear.
You both say clearly. Okay.
Yeah, you are desperate, but that's not what do you call him? Dumb? That's not a dumb or stupid opinion. That is a legitimate opinion based on Goody. Explain to me how you're going to get back up where you were before as a one-seater. You were a player. Disappointed what happened in the playoffs, but you were a player. 7, you're not a player. You did it once at 6, but there were other issues as far as how good you were at the end of the year. You were not a 6 at the end of the year. They're a 7.
Yeah.
So, come on.
Let's be better than a 7.
Yes, because we know what happens when you're a 7.
You lose.
Yeah. And you have no chance.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't even a 7 when they won it as a 6.
Yeah.
7's even worse.
Yeah. There was not a 7 when they won it as a 6.
So
that
your
is a fact.
position is very reasonable.
Thanks, Homer. Appreciate that. Josh, you and I with you for a special edition of Mr. Irrelevant, 12:15 start on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. Jason Wilde will join us as we break down all the happenings in free agent later this afternoon, early this afternoon, beginning at 12:15 on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. Homer and the Doctor of Football will have you from 5 to 6 tonight. hopefully reacting to something. Just do something.
I would vote no.
Okay. Desperation is what you vote.
Just do something is how you end up like the Titans or the Giants.
Well, we're not
or
that
the
bad.
Cowboys.
They've got more talent on the roster
Right,
than that.
but if you were to approach the offseason as just do something, that's how you end up with a team like that.
I tend to agree. And obviously, I'm being a little bit of a jerk when I say just do something. I don't completely mean that. Do something calculated.
Because just do something within that fits MVS.
Well, I'm afraid that MVS might be part of the just do something.
MVS is just
Is it less than something?
No, it's basically irrelevant. I mean, but he's added to the team. But
I got bad news. If MVS is on the roster,
I think he might be.
Week 1, he'd be probably one of the leaders in snap count. From wide receiver.
Of course he would be. They need some sort of plan
But I want
to replace Christian Watson.
Yes, I want MVS and something else. I don't want just MVS.
It might be MVS and a draft pick.
Well, okay. I mean, I prefer MVS and somebody with a veteran source. There's got to be other MVSs out there because nobody other than us knows that MVS is out there.
It's a fair point, actually.
Going to the dealership and coming out with an MVS is like coming out with a Dodge Dart.
Yeah, so you need two. You need a couple of them, right?
Or 2 Dodge Darts.
Because you got a chance that one of them will go good. It's too big a risk with one. I don't know. Make the list of the MVSs out there.
He's not quite a Pinto, but he's definitely a Dart.
But are there other? There got to be MVSs out there that are a little better.
I don't know about that. I'll take a look.
I'll look at free agency.
I'll take a look for you. We will update you. Vertical threat. All right, I'm looking for him in the break. We will wrap up Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, Homer and Stropan right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field, it restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. The tax time sale is going on now, and they'll make your wallet even happier by paying no interest until 2030. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Want to know where the snow is? Snow River Mountain Resort in Michigan's UP is buried in it over 125 inches of pure natural powder this season alone. Skip the airport hassle and head to the UP's only resort with high-speed lifts. We're talking deep snow, zero crowds, and a season that stretches well into April. Why fly south when winter's best-kept secret is right here in your backyard? Make this spring break legendary at Snow River Mountain Resort. Snow River Mountain Resort, where the snow stays longer and the lines move faster. Visit snowriver.com to book now.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. Call Steve Llewellyn, 262-783-6161, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliate. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliate. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Basketball Greatest Scorers. The Marquette Greatest Anything must include Dwayne Wade, but he only played 2 seasons, so he can't match the numbers of those with 3 or 4 years. But Wade is the leader of the 2-year club. Career average 19.7, among the best ever. Similar to Jim Jones' 2 years, 19 a game. And 2-year club, add Andrew Rousey. Like Wade and Jones, a season averaging over 20 points per game. Dwayne Wade, Jim Jones, Andrew Rousey, among the greatest scorers with only 2 seasons of play.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How much will Angie let you grow a beard?
I would say for 3 months I have to keep a beard if I lose.
Okay, and Angie would allow you to have a beard for 3 months.
She doesn't run my life. Drop that.
Yeah. On 94.5 ESPN.
Wrapping up Jet, Gabe, and Chewy on a Monday morning. Alex Strofe, Homer in. Joshie DiMaggio, as always, running the show. Well, I did some research for you.
Yeah.
Don't sound so excited.
No, I'm excited on the research. I'm going to know more. Might not be good, but...
Do you know who De'Ami Brown is?
I do not. No, I do not.
Joshie?
Yes. I believe he was a second-round pick for the Commanders.
Third-round pick in 21, yeah.
He really did nothing until this year when he was foisted into action and had some good games late for the Commanders.
What I am reading on NFL.com, quote, for 2 magical playoff weeks, Brown became the Commanders' top receiver while showing off impressive burst and a variety of routes. That short stretch has earned him some free agent money. He ran a 4.45 40, which isn't
not that special.
Not that crazy. RAS score of 8.38, a relative athletic score.
10 is high, isn't it? 10,
10 is the highest, yeah. Might be your guy, Homer. De'Ami Brown.
I'll listen to both of you. I don't have any idea.
Mecole Hardman?
Yeah, right. I mean, the options are not plentiful in the free agent wide receiver market. That's why.
My assumption, they would want him back now if he finally performed at a level they thought he was capable of.
He's going to get more money elsewhere, it sounds like.
Well, and if they don't want him, then that would make me very iffy. Because shouldn't they want him back?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's had 2 good games, really.
I know. I mean, so they know more about him than the 2 games.
Correct. Yes, they do.
I mean, you think of...
If you look at his production, it was virtually like nil. He was he was less than MVS.
Will the Packers be players in free agency? Starts up at 11 a.m. We are 2 hours away from finding out what the future of the Packers will look like, at least in terms of free agents. Will Goody be a spender? Will he be a player for a second straight year?
Does he sign someone today?
Yes, I think he does. What?
Homer?
That I don't have the answer.
I'll vote no.
Oh, boy.
No, but it doesn't have to be today. It does for you, but... I think he'll make...
I need instant gratification.
Do I think he'll make the team better? Yes, I think he will.
That does it for us. Chewy's back tomorrow. Wilde and Tausch coming up next, breaking down all things free agency.
An accident on northbound 894 at Beloit Road still being worked on off on the right shoulder. Delays coming out of the Hale interchange all the way up past that accident scene to National. That earlier accident on the National off-ramp has been cleared. We do have another problem on southbound on the Rock Freeway just past Racine Avenue off on the left shoulder. Looks like we've got a crash there, a car off into the ditch there. Northbound on 43 backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. Westbound's heavy on 94 from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, with the eastbound side slowing from Hawley Road to 35th. Traffic is brought to you by Granite Peak in Wausau. Visit skigranitepeak.com for lift tickets and lodging packages. Granite Peak, where winter lasts longer. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny and warm, a high of 65. Tonight, mostly clear, breezy, mild, a low of 40. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play TPC Sawgrass for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a